Are you afraid of the dark? You have no idea how many times I've been asked that. I don't really scare easily, to be honest. But one thing I'm thinking about doing is putting some fear in me. You see, this guy, Matthew Klickstein, wrote a book on Are You Afraid of the Dark and some other Nickelodeon shows, and he asked me to come to the launch party in New York. He says hundreds of fans will be there. Really? Well, it's hard to say no to a trip to New York. So I'm taking a chance to see what this is all about.
Hello, and welcome to Newark, New Jersey.
But what's scaring me about this whole thing is that the show was such a long time ago. And frankly, I've moved on. That guy with the glasses sitting around the campfire, I don't know that guy anymore. Problem is, for the people I'm about to meet, they're expecting Gary, not Ross. And now that I'm here, I'm worried I'll disappoint them. It's been close to 22 years since the pilot of Are You Afraid of the Dark aired. Wow, I feel old. But if there's any city that could bring Gary back to life, so I just had to hit the streets to find out. Does Gary still have it? Excuse me, do you know where the Midnight Society would be? Do you know where where I can find the Midnight Society?
I am your father.
We are the Midnight Society, my friend.
You're the Midnight Society?
I'm one of them.
I don't see Tucker or Sam anywhere. I'm looking for the Midnight Society. Do you know where the Midnight Society is?
I told you, Gary. I am your father.
Do you know where the Midnight Society is?
No idea.
Do you remember the Nickelodeon show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? The group of kids used to get together for campfires. Do you remember the show?
I have no idea.
Do you think your dog knows where they
Probably. She probably won't tell us.
are? Were you scared of the Midnight Society? Or?
I don't know why. You're gonna scare me.
No. I'm not going to scare you. I mean, am I scaring you right now? Excuse me. Do you know where the Midnight Society is?
Yeah, they're at Madison 42nd.
Madison 42nd.
Right.
I hope this isn't some kind of sign. Before I get ready, I have time for a quick chat with my best friend Adam, who's joined me for moral support. This is a little bit of a weird experience. I've met people that recognize me from Are You Afraid of the Dark, but this is the first official gathering. There are people that really think about Are You Afraid of the Dark like they're really big fans of the show. I haven't really thought about the show. I just hope that I remember all these references. So maybe I should have watched the entire 65 episodes I did of the show. Should we bring the Gary glasses? No. I think that's a bit much.
Yeah, people would be like, who is this loser? Show's over.
I burned myself before. I won't show you the burns, they're pretty bad. I got an oil burn before I arrived in New York. And I had to put Polysport on it, and it's kind of stained the shirt, but...
Where's Mom when you need her?
I know.
What else is in that garbage can down there?
Okay, let's not involve too much toilet humor here. Alright, so here we are at the 92Y. Behind me is the reception party. Let's see how this goes. Do I look okay? Yes? Hi there. How you doing? When I walked in, I honestly wondered if people would still recognize me. Hi there. Certainly, yeah. Do they still air the show here in the US anymore? Or?
We have to pretty much get it from the DVDs from Canada.
These people had very good memories.
Huge fan of yours, man.
Thanks for watching.
I love watching Are You Afraid
That's
of the Dark.
awesome.
I loved all these shows, especially yours.
Thanks for the nightmares.
Everything seems to be under control until one of the organizers pulls me aside.
Michelle, I haven't met you. I need you to stop signing for me.
Oh, okay. I got in trouble already. I was apparently signing too many autographs. They were trying to get all these fans into the auditorium, and apparently I was holding things up. They've asked me to stop signing stuff. We're going to do it afterwards. I'm sorry about that.
Are you turning away fans?
So while the host of the night, Mark Summers and Matthew Klickstein, started off the panel discussions on stage, I waited my turn. My name's Ross. I was on Are You Afraid of the Dark? I was the kid with the glasses.
Oh man.
The kid. Well, I was actually 18 playing it.
No. The kid.
I got to meet people like Billy West, the unforgettable voice of Ren and Stimpy.
Hey, Ren, will you button me? Will you shut up, you fool? Yes, I shall kill you.
We shared stories, trying to understand why we were here in the first place.
He goes, brother, you were my childhood, man. You changed my life.
Yeah.
And I said, wow. I swear that people went out and did stuff because of these shows.
Right, sure.
You know, what they pursued in life.
Not all memories were good ones.
Because I was 14 and there was some crew member who made this horribly sexually
Oh, I see. Okay.
it was like, go in Jessica's hole or something like that. And he thought it was real funny to say that. He was like, and then like he said it again.
Did he know that he knew that you had heard him?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
It's all positive.
So you don't go into the negative stuff.
Well, you can if you want.
This gentleman played Midnight Society leader Gary on Are You Afraid of the Dark and is now a meteorologist. Ross Holmes!
I kept it positive for the most part, but I had to get one thing off my chest.
Well, first of all, I get asked if I'm afraid of the dark, probably the most times. I'm not going to answer that, by the way.
And of course, Matthew asked me about the glasses.
Ross, did you keep the glasses from Midnight Society and Are You Afraid of the Dark? Why aren't you wearing them now, by the way?
Well, believe it or not, Gary, Ross doesn't actually wear glasses.
Whoa. See what just happened there? I confused Ross for Gary. What's happening here? No time to think about that, though, because what happened next was the most remarkable part of the night for me.
You were definitely my favorite character.
No problem.
Are You Afraid of the Dark? I as well.
You've got my...
I do. I brought a lot of pictures of people I knew. It was such a great show. It was like the Twilight Zone of the 90s.
Yeah, you made this poor girl's life a living hell.
Did I?
Because I have such a big crush on Gary. So I am so happy I get to meet you.
Awesome.
Finally.
Well, thanks for coming by to this.
Give you a little fun.
It hit me like a wave.
It was actually my absolute favorite.
Was it really?
show.
Biggest fan of that show. Oh my god.
Grown men, women, even kids.
I used to watch, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Did you watch Are You Afraid of the Dark? Really? Do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm 20 years old. I didn't start really getting into it until I started watching episodes on YouTube.
Waiting to meet a part of their childhood. That's a good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Can I ask a favor? Could you write submitted for your approval?
If you were to add some nuclear holocaust to the show, you could have made it the Twilight Zone, since that's what half the episodes were about.
My favorite episode is the Magic Train.
This is like meeting your best friends after a long time, man.
I have this for you to sign.
Oh, wow. Wanting yesterday's memory to be captured as today's selfie.
You want to push the button? I'm like really awkward.
Yeah.
Did you send my softball?
I certainly can. I haven't signed a softball yet. This is a Nickelodeon ball. Where did you get this?
The only reason I had a Molly American Girl doll is because she wore glasses like you.
Really?
I loved you.
Really?
I'm sorry,
really?
I just touched you.
No, that's
but-
okay. You can touch me. Well, the shoulders. It's fine. And they too brought up the glasses.
And you were my favorite Midnight Society, and I'm not just saying that.
That's okay.
Because I wear glasses, so I was like, oh, there's finally
Right. It was glasses, right?
I always like my men geeky, so.
Some could tell I was taken aback.
And does it kind of seem surreal to you now that people are still so into everything?
It's just like you do a show and it's kind of like it was a part of my life and a really fun part, but you don't really think that people will remember it. Like, you know what I mean?
Trust me.
So
They do, and we have drinking games.
behind the laughter and the jokes, I was trying to understand their reasoning. Some of these people travel thousands of miles for this? For me? I stayed to meet each and every one of them. And thankfully, no one asked me if I was afraid of the dark. I hate that question. So, that was interesting.
Talk about how surprised you are and wow, what a night. So many people.
You want some energy?
Yes. You're like, oh, well,
But I'm being honest. You want me to act? I am buzzing from the excitement and the energy of what happened in there. It's just nuts. No, I'm not. I'm tired. I'm glad I did it, and I would have stayed there longer to sign stuff if I needed to, because what is it for me to take a minute or 2 minutes to sign someone's ball Honestly, I don't really get it though. I don't really get why people love the show so much. I don't really understand it. It's different when you're a part of a show than when you watch a show, right? I'm looking forward to talking to Matthew. I've got some questions for that guy. Matthew Klickstein, the guy who started all this, joined me in my New York apartment for a chat. And the first thing I had to ask him was, what's with these fans? Do you think it's a little too much?
You know, for some people, this was so important for them. And this was like their brothers or sisters. You were so real for them. You were Gary, their older brother, and you helped to raise them. And I'm sorry you did. So to actually see you in the flesh and to get to meet you, people, as I'm sure they told you, came out from Waco, Texas, and all these places. They spent money to come out here and stay in hotels and the whole thing. You know, I'm not trying to get melodramatic here. It's possible you help people to not commit suicide when they went through a difficult situation. I mean, that was really what was important about the golden age of Nickelodeon, was you guys spoke to us, not at us, and we got it. And 20 years later, now we're all in our 20s and 30s, and you know, we just want to say thank you.
One more thing. Okay. This was brought up a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
So I got a lot of comments yesterday about how, you know, from girls when they were like 12, 13, maybe even some guys, who knows. And these glasses seem to have a huge impact on them in terms of...
Oh, you're Gary.
in terms of...
Wow, you actually do look a little different.
So what do you think it was about the glasses that also had such an impact? Because, you know, you wouldn't necessarily expect girls to be into a guy with glasses. I'm glad you're having this reaction. What do you think it was?
I think it was your character. You were the older brother character, and you were sort of the wise one. You were the one who was initiating people and bringing your little brother in, who I think we're empathizing with. It gives you this, you know, pedagogical sensibility, and you know, you do have very very like penetrating eyes, these gimlet brown eyes, and you know, your hair. You look like a teacher, and those glasses. Yeah, calcified it.
All right, we'll have to say submitted for your approval.
Oh, gosh.
I declare this interview closed.
Oh, amazing. That made it all worth it. 2 years of work, all worth it. Thank you.
I've never heard anyone put it that way before. Me, a teacher? A role model? I was barely an adult myself when we shot the show. But I disagree with Matthew on one point. It's these people who taught me something. In my self-involved haze before I got here, I forgot that this wasn't about me, about Gary. This was about them. Their joys, their fears, their lives, and how lucky I was to have been a part of it, if only in a small way. That's a great feeling.
So, are you afraid of the dark?
Are you afraid of the dark? Are you afraid of the dark?